So Christopher Nolan might be signing with Netflix. Now, there's a big rumor right now that Netflix wants to bring in Christopher Nolan to be, for sure just Netflix, because Netflix has been struggling in the movie department. Even their I don't know who he is, but he's the main guy for the movies at Netflix. Even he recently came out saying that they've been lacking in Netflix movies. Look, it's all movies are subjective, but let's be for real, Netflix has a terrible, terrible track record when it comes to movies. What shows it's been good. Although last year in 2020, I believe the best movie came from them, which was Trial of the Chicago 7, but 1 out of 100 movies every year on Netflix tends to be very bad. Not only that, but Netflix is poor at promoting their movies. So when I heard this, I just didn't believe it. Now, before I get into the rest of the video, y'all make sure you smash the like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the notification bells. That way you can be notified for future content here on the channel. Make sure you subscribe. It helps support the channel here, so we're able to talk about movies, movie news, and everything in the wonderful world of movies. So make sure you subscribe to help support the channel. And yeah, let's get on to the rest of the video. So for those who are wondering, Christopher Nolan does make movies for Warner Bros. I'm not sure if there's a contract at all, but what I do know for a fact is that Christopher Nolan does make the movies for Warner Bros. Because Warner Bros. Loves Nolan, and Nolan loved working for Warner Bros. Even a lot of the time, Nolan has said that the best movie studio in Hollywood is Warner Bros. But for those who didn't realize, this whole entire 2020 or 2021, Warner Bros. Decided to make the decision to put all their movies, both streaming and theatrical release dates, on the same exact date, angering a lot of people because Warner Bros. Apparently did not notify any of their employees. They didn't notify any of their actors, co-workers, producers. They didn't even notify Legendary, who financed Godzilla vs. Kong. And Nolan, for those who didn't know, Nolan is a big theater guy. Nolan loves the theater release. He loves working for theaters, and he loves having people experience his films in theaters, and I cannot blame him. He's been big on the theaters. He was trying to get Tenet out as soon as possible. I'll be honest, I'm still mad at Nolan for how he reacted to the Tenet situation, but I gotta give Nolan props when props is due. After this came out, he said Warner Bros. He bashed Warner Bros. He said Warner Bros. Imagine going from working for the best movie studio in the world to now being on a streaming service. Nolan's a big theater guy. So there's been a lot of debate on whether he's staying with Warner Bros. Or if he's leaving. Personally, I believe he's leaving, because as of now, Warner Bros. Has not changed any of their theatrical day-and-day release on HBO Max. Not even for Dune, even though Dune was heavily targeted as, it will be exclusively only theaters. But now it's still staying on HBO Max as if it stands right now, which is embarrassing because HBO Max is just shooting themselves in the foot. Or not HBO Max, but Warner Bros. So it's now caused this whole ruckus on if Nolan is willing to stay at Warner Bros. Now, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Personally, I believe he's leaving, because I don't think he's going to accept what Warner Bros. Did to its filmmakers. Not only that, but Nolan knows how high of a market he is. He's a free agent. It's practically like sports right now, where everyone's like, ooh, this is the best of the best. Now, I think Nolan right now is one of the best directors of all time. To me, he's probably the only director who has a perfect track record when it comes to movies, where I don't hate any of his movies. Now, I will say 2 of his movies I'm not fans of is Tenet and Dark Knight Rises. I believe they're both good, but Nolan still does not have a single movie I don't like at all. Every director has that one bad movie. But Nolan does not have that. Now, do I think he's the best director? No. Has he made my favorite movie of all time? I would say one of his best movie, which is Inception, is in my top 20 list. But top 10? No. But still, Nolan, insane track record. A perfect score, to me at least. It's all subjective, but I do believe Nolan has that perfect reputation as of now. Now, when I heard Netflix was getting in on this, let's be fair, Netflix is big right now. Netflix is trying their best to compete, because for years they were the dominant streaming service. But now with the dawn of the streaming service wars, the streaming wars, I believe, with HBO Max, Disney Plus, Amazon, everyone's just getting in this game. Netflix is trying to get some hard heavy hitters. They paid Rian Johnson $40 million to get sequels to Knives Out. Just Knives Out themselves. or I believe it was more than 400 million. Did I say 40? Okay, it's like 400 million. I'm pretty sure it was more, but they were willing to pay 400 million just to have just to have the rights to Knives Out. That's a lot. They're going in serious. They even made a movie with Ryan Reynolds, Dwayne Johnson, and Gal Gadot. I'm not sure what the movie's called, but the fact that they're making original movies like that, insane. It seems like they're gonna get Zack Snyder in. I mean, look at what Army of the Dead did. Army of the Dead. While I didn't love the movie, I thought it was enjoyable. I thought it was fun, but that's it. While I didn't personally love it that much, I will say it did do very well. The fact that they give Zack Snyder 1 week of having this movie in a theater says a lot, and there's a lot of reports saying that he might sign a contract with Netflix, and I think that would be great for Zack because clearly it doesn't seem like Warner Bros. Wants him, so might as well do business elsewhere. But Nolan, on the other hand, that's crazy to me because Nolan right now is seen as one of the best directors, not just of now, but of all time. Currently, it's like he would, I would say he's in that top three, top two, something like that. Depends on what your perspective are on his films. Personally, I think his films are amazing. He does make specific films for theaters. The sound, the audio, the editing, everything, it just seems so theatrical about it that, Nolan's a big theater guy. So when I heard this, I was like, BS, but at the same time, I'm also like, Netflix right now is trying their very best to keep content and to be able to release content. And obviously, since they have a lot of originals, they're going to try improving on that. And I believe having a name like Christopher Nolan would beefing up the stack that they have currently at Netflix. Like, imagine being a Nolan fan and hearing that all his movies will be on Netflix. That will excite you because you're there like, all right, time to subscribe for some Netflix. But at the same time, Nolan is a theater guy. And I believe the only way Netflix could potentially even have the chance to sign Nolan is if they have an exclusive theatrical release for at least a month, 2 months, maybe even 3 months. And then after that, release it on Netflix because Nolan's a big theater guy, and I do not think he will do business with anyone that's not wanting to put his movie out in theater. Not only that, but you have to also put into consideration that Paramount, Disney, all these other studios are like, oh, Nolan's on the market, let's go give it our all. So Netflix isn't just gonna have to compete with that, that theatrical thing because Netflix is exclusively streaming. That's what they want. But you now have to compete with big boys like Amazon, Paramount, Disney, and maybe even Warner Bros. If Warner Bros. Is able to convince Nolan to stay on board. So right now it's a very tough situation for Netflix. But again, I don't see them signing him unless they sign a contract saying that they got to release this in a normal theatrical window. I don't think Nolan's going to sign because, again, he can do business elsewhere. Everyone's willing to give him as much money as possible. I also think they're going to have to give him a massive cut of the box office because that's what he did at Warner Bros. And I'm sure that he wants to do that with any other studio. He wants that cut. He wants that percentage of the box office. But I just don't see Nolan wanting to do business with a company that only wants to put his movies only on streaming. I doubt we'll ever see that. But again, I think Netflix could potentially make a bargain. Maybe Netflix is like, you know what? We're going to do the normal theatrical day and day. I mean, not day and day, but the normal theatrical release. And that way you get your film. A lot of people are like, oh, well, money talks. Well, let's be for real. Nolan, I think, is more from... I mean, Nolan's already a millionaire. He does movies out of passion. If he wanted to do it for money, he would have been directing James Bond movies, Mission Impossible movies. He would have been doing big stuff. But instead, he wants to do originals, creatives. He did the Dark Knight trilogy, and then after that decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to do my stories, tell my own stories, tell my own vision. And then after that, keep making more and more and more. And that's what I love about Nolan. I'm not saying it's bad to be in projects that aren't yours, but I do think it's pretty cool being able to say that this was straight directly your project. Again, that doesn't change my perspective on a director, but I do think it's cool the power that Nolan has, that he could just think of any idea, put it on a piece of paper and tell a studio, make this. I want to make this. And you're not going to argue with me. And so Netflix, I do think they would be willing to bend the knee for Nolan, but at the same time, will they really? Because I think Netflix themselves know very well that Nolan would only sign if you got that theatrical release normal as always. I don't think Nolan's gonna be willing to do something that's non-theatrical. I don't think he wants his name on a streaming exclusive film. Neither for Warner Bros., neither for Disney, neither for Netflix. Doesn't matter who you are, I'm pretty sure he's not gonna want that. Now, will he want that afterwards? Probably, yeah. And again, I don't think it's a money thing, because I saw some people saying, why doesn't he just accept the movie to be on Premier Access? Well, there are two reasons why I don't think that. Number one, Nolan has been very against Premier Access. He's criticized streaming, and he's criticized movies going exclusively on streaming. Number two, I don't think Netflix wants to do Premier Access, because Netflix is the biggest streaming service right now, and I don't think they want to tarnish that legacy. Disney Plus can, because they're just beginning and they don't really have a reputation as of now. HBO Max, same thing with them, although they don't charge for their movies. But Netflix is known for, you pay a certain amount of money per month, and then you get all the library, everything that you paid for there, and you don't have to pay extra. Because that's what Netflix wants to be known as. They want to be known as the top dogs in the streaming market. And I do think that if they were able to sign Nolan on an exclusive deal, whether it's theatrical, whether it's streaming, I think that's going to be the biggest win for Netflix in history. I don't recall any win in history bigger than being able to sign Nolan to do movies exclusively for your company. And Nolan's a big money maker. I know people in my real life who aren't big movie fans who, when they see the name Christopher Nolan, they're like, heck yeah, man. Heck yeah, I want to go watch this. Doesn't matter what it's about. I mean, I'm like that. When Tenet was coming out, I remember my interest wasn't the premise. My interest was Nolan. I really liked Tenet. I do think it's one of his worst films, but that's saying a lot, because I thought Tenet was pretty good. I think Tenet was a good film. Do I think it's one of the worst Nolan films? Sure, but that's not a bad thing to be said. But yeah, I don't see Nolan wanting to work for Warner Bros. Again, because what they've done with HBO Max and what they've done to Godzilla vs. Kong, Tom and Jerry, Dune, Space Jam, Suicide Squad, what they're doing with these films, I don't think Nolan can forgive them. I feel like things would be different if these movies, like, let's say after the whole debacle, they were like, you know what, we're not going to be doing the streaming thing. We're just going to go theaters exclusively. I think if something like that had happened, I think right now we would have been seeing Nolan planning his future Warner Bros. Film. But no, I think it's going to be Netflix. I genuinely think Netflix has a huge market. But I'm going to make a bold prediction. Now, you guys in the comments predict, who do you think is going to win the Nolan game? Who do you think is going to be able to sign Nolan? I'm going to say this right now. I know this is going to be not controversial, but I think this is going to be somewhat of a hot take. I think Nolan, the company he's going to sign for is going to be Amazon. And the reason why I say that is because Amazon is rich. Amazon as a company has a ton of money, and they've shown on the streaming service that they're willing to put as much money as they can to anything. And I don't see a way where they won't at least try to sign Nolan. I know I've seen people say Disney. I know I've seen people say Netflix's. And I've seen people say that Warner Bros. Is probably going to bring him back. But for Amazon, they have more money than any of these studios. They could buy Disney twice if they wanted to. And right now, you got Invincibles, you got The Boys. They love exclusive content. They've shown that they can craft great exclusive content. And I believe that Nolan would more than likely sign with them, because not just money, but I think Amazon is willing to do I believe Amazon's willing to do anything to provide for Nolan, make him feel happy, which means theatrical release, normal release, no day-and-day release, but exclusively theatrical for 3 months, and then put it on Amazon. And Amazon can brand the movie. They can be like, hey, this is our movie, just like we're putting it out in theaters. And again, Amazon, I feel like would be willing to offer them the most money. And while I do think Netflix is second place in that, I just think Amazon right now is showing a whole lot more to provide for Nolan. I feel like they right now, they're the big underdogs. I see a lot of people counting out Amazon, but I think Amazon's going to take Christopher Nolan. They're going to get his signature, they're going to sign it, and then be like, hey, everyone, we got Nolan on our side. And that's going to bring a lot of attention to Amazon. Everyone's going to be like, Nolan doing movies for Amazon? And I think that's going to be insane. Do I think it's a good idea for Nolan? Heck yeah, get your money. Get your money, and you get everyone in Hollywood to bend the knee to you. That's awesome. Very few people in Hollywood can ever say that. Nolan has that power, and he's earned it. Great movies like Memento, Insomnia, Inception, Interstellar, Dark Knight, all these great films that he has provided for us. Man, it's time someone gives him his respect. Warner Bros. Didn't give him respect. Oh, well, they did. They did. Let's be honest. The fact that they released Tenet the way they did shows you how much respect they have for Nolan. Like, I still remember I went the very first day Tenet got released. I know this was very early on, but there was only like 8 people in my theater. Probably less, actually. 6, 7. The fact that Tenet was willing to release when theaters were closed both in LA and New York, the 2 biggest markets in America. Let's remember that America is also the biggest market for movies as a whole. Really shows you Warner Bros. Were willing to bend the knee to Nolan, but they still upset at Nolan with what they did with HBO Max, the whole day-and-day release thing. But I just don't see another way that Warner Bros. Signs him. Do I think there's a chance? Heck yeah, there's always a chance. But I think Netflix and Amazon both have a lot more to provide, and I'm pretty sure Nolan's not going to sign a streaming exclusive. I think he's going to sign a contract that says his movies are going to be exclusively theatrical. They're going to give him a massive cut of the box office revenue, and they're also going to be putting his movies after the theatrical release. They're going to put his movies exclusively on whatever streaming service. Because, again, I don't see Warner Bros. Doing that. I don't see Disney doing that. Well, I kind of see Disney, but not really. But I do see Netflix and Amazon, but I do see more than likely Amazon. But, hey, Netflix could come in and surprise me. I mean, there's a reason why they're the ones being reported to be in the business with Nolan. There's a reason why that's happening. That's because they're probably the most interested. But if I had to put my money on anyone, I feel like something in my head's just telling me that it's going to be Amazon. Now, I'm probably going to be wrong. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are laughing at me right now. But hey, we're going to have to wait and see and find out. Y'all in the comment sections, let me know what streaming service do you think Christopher Nolan is going to be going towards. My money is on Amazon, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.